Aquarius, the water bearer. Here's your reading for November 2017. As usual, guys, this is a general reading. So the energies and messages here can either be coming to you or be coming directly from you. All the messages here will not resonate completely with your unique situation, nor are they all meant to. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Go ahead and see the description box to book a private reading for yourself. All right, let's go ahead and bless the decks and we'll get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede this reading to provide Aquarius with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they are meant and or intended to be. Okay, Aquarius, we're coming into the reading with the Page of Cups reversed here. Put it here to the side for now, come back to it. Okay, Aquarius, so here's the heart of the matter. Here are the outside stimuli, the four corners here, in terms of how it can affect the environment or the heart of the matter. And then these two cards here in the corner kind of solidify these two cards here, and then these two cards here in terms of the outside stimuli. But so we're going to go a little bit intuitive this November 2017. I haven't seen all of these cards around the circumference, but let's jump right in. So in terms of traditional tarot, Aquarius, we have the Empress, the Four of Swords, Lovers reversed, and the Knight of Wands reversed. So you could be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or you could be dealing with a Gemini, or possibly an Aries specifically. Okay. So, Aquarius, you've been thinking a lot about this person. I feel like this is going to be love or relationship based, this reading. And I feel, Aquarius, that you've been thinking about forgiveness. And is it really worth it? And also I'm picking up too, Aquarius, like don't view the forgiveness as being weakness. It's not a form of weakness. Forgiveness is actually such a beautiful thing. It takes a lot of courage. But I feel as though, Aquarius, that you should then forgive yourself first before you forgive the other person. Forgive yourself for putting up with this fiery energy here that either you or this person brought to the relationship or their partnership. You know, since it's general, I'm going to throw everything out there, but you've been thinking a lot about how this relationship or partnership or circumstance kind of how it started, how it came about, where it went wrong, like who won in the end, who lost in the end, was it worth it? Like just revisiting everything, all in all, I feel. And I feel like you're having a little bit of breakthroughs with this too as well. You're starting to learn a lot about yourself and what you accepted and what the other person brought to you, or vice versa. Yeah, I do feel like that. And I'm picking up too, Aquarius, that trust yourself more, listen to your intuition more. But it's going to begin, Aquarius, with forgiving yourself for how you aided or how you perpetuated the heat, how you perpetuated or how you fueled the fire as well, and what you accepted and how it made you feel and how it made you look on the outside to the people that you love, and how it also kind of formed your own perception of yourself and how it impacted your life as so. But look at it as, Aquarius, as what can you take away from it? What have you learned from it? Don't keep dwelling on what happened, you know, the bad stuff. Look at what good can come from it or has come from it in terms of trusting yourself more stability with you, accepting your faults and accepting your wrongs within this doing. Accepting what you accepted and how you tried. You know, you tried to stay in the relationship. You tried to keep this partnership, relationship, circumstance, whatever it is for you today, alive. But sometimes, Aquarius, you know, we can't keep two people alive sometimes, you know, especially in a partnership or relationship, any kind of ship, friendship, whatever the case may be. It has to be a mutual understanding. It has to be a mutual fight. It has to be a mutual, when I say fight, I mean fight to keep it together, you know. It has to be a mutual understanding of what's important. It has to be a mutual venture. And one person can only uphold the ship. I'm going to call it a ship, you know, for all of the above. Friendship, partnership, relationship, you know. Only one person can uphold the ship for two people. And when it becomes like that, Aquarius, when it's all resting upon one person's shoulders, that's the immediate signature right there where things are not going great. They transpired into downward spiral. And it's time to reevaluate what's going on, communicate as best as you can. And if the other partner or the other party is not responsive in rebuilding whatever you guys lost, if that is not at the fore, and if they're not willing to do that, that's when you must pull out. You know, you're going to have to go into that moment of solace, go into that moment of self-contemplation in terms of, are you prepared to take on, you know, the job of two people? And if you are, okay, then, you know, continue to fight and stay in it. But what comes from it? Because if people aren't willing to give to the situation evenly, and if people don't want to be in that ship, you know, this is when the arrogance, when the impatientness, the temperaments start to boil over. When they do, that's when unfavorable acts start to commence, and that's when they start to happen. And that's when the respect level completely diminishes. And when the respect is gone, one, it's extremely hard to rebuild it, because it's going to take forgiveness from both sides and admittance from both sides in terms of what they did wrong and how they contributed to it. But if the other party is not willing to do that, that's when you know it's time to leave. And it's tough, but you're going to have to leave, because then you're going to stay in a very tumultuous situation, a situation that can lead to physical means, that can lead to unfavorable things starting and happening, you know. And by you staying in it and choosing to stay around and being ambitious in that sense, you add to that person's, you know, temperament and fuel. Now, I'm not saying that you deserve what comes from it. If you stand in front of the car going 60 miles an hour, coming headed for you, you're going to get hit by the car, you know? So shimmy on out and move to the side and let the car pass you up, you know? And hopefully wish for the best and hope for the best. And that's just the best that you can really do. That's all that you can do. There's nothing more that you can give if the other party is not willing to give the same amount. Because once the respect is gone, it's gone, Aquarius. Okay, that's what I'm getting initially. Let's turn these cards over. Four of Cups. Seven of Cups reversed. A lot of signs been getting the Seven of Cups reversed. The Sun reversed. And the Nine of Pentacles. So if we go over here, Aquarius, you're going to have to decide, Aquarius, are you going to stick around and try all that you can? Or are you going to make the decision to leave when it's already over? And both decisions are tough, and I understand. These are both emotional cards. But I feel, Aquarius, here that you're going to have to make the decision to leave. Because if you thought and been in your thoughts lately and trying to come up with a solution, you can't be the only one that's doing that, Aquarius. Like, your thoughts and your plans and your solutions are going to be disregarded by the other party. And then you're basically going to run into the Nine of Swords moment when you're just grinding your gears and you're driving yourself nuts. For what reason, when the other party doesn't even give two shits, you know? And I believe that Maybe Aquarius, you do want to stay up to a certain point because you feel like you don't want to have those, oh, I should have tried this, I should have tried that. But Aquarius, if the other party, once again, doesn't want to reciprocate it, no matter what you try, it's never going to suffice. And my guides want me to keep telling you that when things have ran its course, it's time to get off the course, you know, because no matter what you do, it's not going to be favorable if the other party does not want it as much as you do. And I feel like it's a tough moment because then you've come out of that space of being delusional, you know, of saying, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's okay, like convincing yourself of that. It's time to come out of that period, and I feel like you have. And the best thing you can do is just leave and wish for the best. And when you do leave, Aquarius, you can use that time to rebuild yourself, to understand yourself better. Use that alone time to your advantage in terms of growing as a person and maybe choosing a better partner, which we don't know what people's intentions are or where they're going with it or what their motives are. But if we know what we need as individuals, as a personal individual, we can seek that in other people, and we can see that, you know, initially if they can appease it, or if they can match that, or if they can rise to the occasion in terms of whatever it is that you do need. And you'll hear them say those things when you get to know them. And then when you are more confident in yourself and happier with yourself, you then vibrate at a different frequency and you attract people that are like-minded. You then radiate more confidence in yourself, and people then would try less to attack you and to be a vampire upon you, be a succubus on you. Like, they won't do that anymore because they know that they can't get that far, because you know that you're not going to allow it. The world reverse. There's a cycle here, of course, that needs to be broken. You have 2 4s here. There's a decision to be made. So do you want to walk around, Aquarius, or be in that position, or be in that realm, in that headspace of looking at what you have now and possibly not see what good is to come if you were to switch your approach and possibly walk away and look at the cups that are on the floor that you currently are just kind of dealt with and being in that, like, well, I'm just going to make it work type of thing? Or are you going to think about what you need and what you require and then go after it? Because this type of person embodying this Knight of Wands reverse doesn't even want to understand how their power and how their manipulation has such an effect on you. They won't realize it. They don't want to realize it. It's very stubborn energy. It's very, it's not very conducive to a relationship. And if you stay in it, Aquarius, you can't be mad at the outcome. And impeding upon someone's growth, Aquarius, is not unconditional love. Knowing when to let go is. Sometimes you have to let go if you love a person that much. And they may not see that right now, but that may be what they need to be alone and to realize the good thing that they had, as well as for yourself as well. And I feel like that's the cycle here, Aquarius. Like, you're gonna have to break that cycle of just accepting it, accepting that this is what it is, and oh well, and we're just gonna go with it, like, kind of thing. Settling, you know, don't settle anymore, Aquarius. You shouldn't have to settle, given that, you know, your wants and your needs are appropriate and they're logical, you know. Then why are you settling? Because, you know, you can find someone else, Aquarius, that can give you that. But then again, I want to say, Aquarius, use this time alone if you leave, to understand that. Be aware, Aquarius, that people or another person should not complete us. They should complement us, and we should learn from them. They should support us. You complete yourself, Aquarius. Never depend upon another person to make you happy. They should just want to make you happy. They should have the intention, but you should make yourself happy first. And that includes having self-love for yourself. Break that cycle, Aquarius. I'm just going to flip this one over. Going back to the idea of when you make yourself happy and you know that you got you won't disappoint yourself willingly. And I feel as though, Aquarius, that's why the Two of Cups is here, because when you make yourself happy, you are a better person. You're a lot happier with yourself. You can give to another person more freely. You can give to another person the best of you. That's what you have to do, Aquarius. But it starts with you, with the Nine of Pentacles here. For me, as you know, my own interpretation of the Nine of Pentacles has to do with the nine being you as an individual. You could possibly maybe be dealing with a Virgo, maybe a Leo. I feel like this is more for you, Aquarius. It's more of understanding yourself, taking your masculine and feminine sides and putting them together and joining them together, understanding how you contributed to the situation and what you accepted. What were your expectations of this person? Were they consistent? You know, in terms of what you expected, were they ever met? Did anything ever go your way up to a certain point? Given that, you know, they're healthy intentions and they're healthy expectations and they're attainable. Because the other party or the other person should want to do that. You shouldn't have to tell them to do that. They should have the yearn to do that. That's what it is, Aquarius. You shouldn't have to tell people so much of what you need. You should say at one time if they're missing the point, and they should listen, because what's important to you should be important to them, and what's important to them should be important to you. So I feel that it's time for you to snatch your power back and to stand in your own power with dignity, integrity, and self-respect. You know, that's going to start with you. You have to make yourself happy. And I believe that that's why you came into the reading with the Page of Cups reversed, because you accepted things that you know you shouldn't have. You're making a lot of concessions for this relationship or for this person. And see, Aquarius, the Ten of Pentacles here, reversed. This is lack of commitment. Now, it can either be from you or from the other person. But I feel like it's from the other person. It's tough, I know. But you should see this, and why did this happen? You know, obviously you didn't have all the control over it, or you didn't cause all of it. But why did you stick around so long, Aquarius, for you to realize that there was a lack of commitment at the last minute? This doesn't happen overnight. People don't just wake up and say, oh, I don't want to commit. There's a cycle to it. There's a process to it. It's something that goes on, and it eventually manifests. Why did you choose to stay when you knew that this was coming? Because I have a feeling you kind of knew, Aquarius. You know, you're going to have to come to terms with that. The Devil card reversed here. You could be maybe dealing with the Capricorn. Sometimes we don't notice, Aquarius, that the Devil card, in terms of what keeps you bound, what controls you, is still around. And it begins with noticing the red flags. Speaking of red, the Knight of Wands here. Noticing the shift of personality. Knowing they don't do the things that they normally do, but in a negative sense, where they just don't do it because they don't care anymore. You're looking at it in that perspective. And sometimes we can deny the fact that where it's going, but you can only deny things for so long. You have to break the cycle of the denial. And your last card here, the Nine of Swords. Sleepless nights, worrying and worrying and worrying, and anxiety, and just stress the hell out. Like, you know, once again, this is a choice. And even the Three of Swords here. This is a choice. I feel like you aided in the heartbreak a little bit. I'm not saying that you deserved it. No, of course not. But these two cards are the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords. More of the Nine of Swords is more of a choice. The Three of Swords kind of just happens. But once again, like the Ten of Pentacles reversed, this just doesn't happen overnight. This is something that's egged on, and it's perpetuated, and it's the end result. Why do we have to wait to the end result when you're experiencing all of this? Not being able to have the vitality, not being able to be happy, not being able to find yourself. Also picking up, Aquarius, losing yourself within this process. snatch your power back and regain it, Aquarius, because it's time to do it. But you're going to have to know that you deserve it and that you want it. Okay, Aquarius, let's go ahead and pull a Jesus card. Let's see what's going on with that. Okay, Aquarius, they want me to take the top card. This is very strange. I never do this. They want me to take the top card and the bottom card as well. My guides. Let's see. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. John 14:18. Sorry about the shaking there. Love one another as I have loved you. John 13:34. Okay. When you give it up, Aquarius, and you move on to greener pastures, and you trust your spirit guides, and you trust your intuition, which are your spirit guides, and you trust God, you trust your guides, you trust your angels, who or whatever it is that you confide in and believe in, and you trust that process, Aquarius. They guide you to greener pastures, and it may not be on your timing, but having faith in God is having faith in His timing, because it's not on your timing. It's on divine timing. And whatever that may be for you, or whoever it is that, like I said, who or whatever you confide in and is your higher power, it's on their timing. Because when you're in this situation, you must surrender to it, and you must say, okay, I don't know what I'm clearly doing here, and it's okay. We're human, you know, we mess up. But when you surrender to it, that's when they won't leave you comfortless. It may be comfortless for a little bit, because it may feel like it, but it'll all come in time, and it'll all be appropriate. And I think it's also interesting here too that love one another as I have loved you. Back to the forgiveness, and that's what I first was saying, you know, at the beginning of the reading, was I feel like there's a forgiveness that needs to happen. Forgiving yourself first for forgiving the other person, and therefore you can be a better person, and you can turn the Sun card upright, and you can have that vitality that you need. And then this won't feel like a missed opportunity, because it would suck, Aquarius, if you stood in this and self-love and transcending in terms of your spirituality, if you were to miss that, that would really suck. So trust your guides, trust God, trust that there's something out there for you, there's a bigger plan. But we must surrender everything first before we can see a result. Because we can't completely surrender and say, okay, I trust you completely, and then all of a sudden just back out and then want to control everything again. That's not how it works. It's the exact opposite, because when you controlled everything yourself, look what happened. And I'm not blaming you for it, but this is the beginning stages of a spirit. I feel, Aquarius, a spiritual awakening is happening. It's going to start for you. And if it has already started, okay, I mean, that's wonderful, dude. It really is. Maybe you just got a little hiccup here. You know, it happens. We're human. You want me to take this top card again? Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. You can't live your life in fear, Aquarius. It's going to ruin you. And it's acceptance and surrendering. Don't be afraid. Don't choose to be afraid, because it's not comforting. And it's only going to get you in this predicament again, or it's going to be stagnation. Okay, Aquarius, I think that concludes your reading. Check out John 14. John 14. Oh, they're all John. That's crazy. And John 13. And crazy enough, too, ironically enough, one of my spirit guides, his name is John. Isn't that weird? Also, Aquarius, if you'd like to book a private reading, check the description box. And when you're on the site, there's going to be a chat bubble at the bottom right-hand corner. It's either going to be blue or green. If you see a red dot on top of that chat bubble, that's me just trying to communicate with you, checking in on you, making sure you're finding everything okay. You can talk about a little bit of your situation. I can recommend the best service for you. Okay? All right, Aquarius. Trust in something bigger than you, Aquarius, okay? It's time. Don't live your life in fear anymore. Because this is fear, Aquarius. This is fear. It's not getting you anywhere right now. Okay? Right, Aquarius? You can do it. Believe in something bigger than you. Aquarius, we'll see you.